Yeah, hello and welcome back to ConWorxx IV, Spielworxx' own small, cozy, friendly online games convention. As usual, if you have questions or comments, please put them in the chat window. That would be very nice. And my name is Uli Blennemann, and I'm here with Phil Schmidt, who's doing mainly strategic work, I think is the best term for Spielworxx. And you see, somebody is doing the not that important stuff, me, and then somebody is doing the strategic stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. Phil, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm enjoying the calm before the storm next week. So, you have to mentally prepare for next week.
Right.
And that's the state of mind.
That is absolutely true. And Kasik is saying hello to you. And in the next 20-25 minutes, we will talk about Spielworxx at Essen, what Spielworxx is planning. And maybe we start, Phil, where is Spielworxx located?
So yes, this year we are at a new location in Hall 3, where all the I would say the gamers games are located.
Yes.
So the stand number exactly is 3H115. So be sure to meet us there and say hello. And yeah.
Yeah, we'd love to meet you all there, and including you, Hans, who is saying hello. And but why Hall 3? You already mentioned this. What is the reason for this reshuffling at Essen?
So yeah, the Spielmesse already planned last year that they would at some point change their numbering or their location of the publishers in the halls, so that the customers can or the gamers can find those publishers which games they are interested in. So it's more as it's a service to the gamers, that they can, okay, I am playing family games, so I am going to Hall X where the family games are, or I am looking for the meaty stuff and I'm going to Hall 3, so I find all the publishers there.
Yeah.
And they did this change for this year a bit on short notice, but apparently they managed to do it. So we are happy to see how this works out.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So it will be an interesting experiment for everybody, because some publishers were in the same location for 10 plus years or 20 years, and now they had to shift a little bit. So we'll see. It's interesting, and the feedback after the fair will be surely interesting as well. But what can people expect from Spielworxx at booth 3H115?
So yes, we have some demo tables prepared for you, the gamers. So we present Yunnan, the new game of Ern Haag, and Magnet, the German edition. And we will highlight also Weimar, which just released. And we have a demo table for Karolingi there, which will be published in combination with Seekov games.
Indeed, and I'm just showing very briefly some of the, or where it is, some of the illustrations. So that's a cover from Yunnan, the new Aaron Haag game. And that is a German edition of James Naylor's Magnet, the First City, which is an interesting city building twist, pretty anti-capitalist. And then this is a cover of Weimar, Der Kampf die Demokratie by Matthias Kramer. We'll have the German edition, and in very limited supply also the English language edition. And that is a cover for Karolingi, which is from Seekov Games, but we'll have it at the booth. So let me get this back here. And so these are the games the aforementioned, which you can play. or in the case of Weimar, at least there will be somebody who will explain you the keys, because this is a complex game that lasts for about 6 hours. But speaking of what is happening at the booth, there is more. We have some events, right, Phil?
Yes, so speaking of Weimar, we will have Matthias Kramer there on Friday noon. For about an hour, he will explain Weimar at this highlight table, which is the table is by our dear partner ConWorxx Games, so
Yes.
ConWorxx Tables, so Matthias will explain his very own Weimar there, and later that day there will also be Aaron Haag, who will explain his Yunnan at our booth at 3 o'clock, and you can also meet him on Thursday already at 3 o'clock. So
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and I'm excited for this, because I think quite a few people would like to play with a designer. So Aaron is not only explaining the game, but if you want, if there is a table free for him, a spot free, then he can also play the game, and he will answer rules questions. So I'm excited for this, and of course for Weimar as well. And Phil, you mentioned ConWorxx, and a shout out to them as well. They are directly behind the wall at our booth. Finest, best gaming furniture all around worldwide. So wonderful people, wonderful quality of stuff. And there's also Hunter and Friends here, best German language video, gaming video producer. They have also some merchandise. So please check ConWorxx and Hunter out for sure. But Phil, we will also sell quite a few games at Essen, right?
at least hopefully.
Yes.
So
let me, sorry to interrupt. Let me bring up the list, the price list. It may change a little bit, but let me put it up. So this is actually the second page here. So yeah. Do you want to go through it, Phil? Or mention something that is interesting?
So yeah, first of all, we will have Weimar in German in stock, and also some copies in English, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And then also we will have Yunnan there. So both games that we already mentioned will be available at the prices you see.
Yeah.
We will also have some games of our translated games like Root, the German edition, and its expansion, the Flussvolk Erweiterung, and Oath, and some copies of Pax Pamir are left over, so you can grab one of this very fine game. Then on the second page we have.
I briefly interrupt you. What you see here, everybody who does a purchase gets a 4 German edition leader games, gets it for free. So that is for any and all purchases here. But the second page may be more interesting even for some of you, because we are having some bundle sales.
Exactly. So we have very special prices for the fair. Yes, if you want to grab all the games at once, you have a very special price for the 4 big games: Weimar, Yunnan, Magnet, and Oath. It's not absolutely cheap, but it is in comparison to the entire thing. It's a bargain. So we will have bundles for all the combinations there, and also for Root, or if you want to have the Oath Deluxe Edition, we have some elements left of the Kickstarter. So please be sure to pick them up if you want to.
Yeah, and with Oath especially, we have, I think, 2 or 3 sets left of the coins. So this is in low supply. And you see, some of our games, for example, Yunnan, are done in a limited edition, so small print run, and they are produced, Yunnan is produced in Europe, which means the retail price is quite high for some people, and I totally get this. But for people who are interested in this game and maybe are also interested in Magnet or some other game, I think our bundle prices are really fine. So please check them out if you are interested in them. And I have 2 comments here from the chat. There's Frucht Factory again regarding Caplex. Finished my gaming cellar, so a desk is highly needed. Yeah, you don't want to play on the floor in the cellar. So I totally get this. And Ford Factory is also saying, I only played Root in the app because for me it's hard to bring it on a table with casual board gaming friends. I think that is a fair, totally fair comment. Root as an asymmetrical game is a pretty hard teach, especially to casual board gaming friends. So yeah, and the app is actually very well made in my opinion. Yeah.
I have one hint for you. If you want to teach Root, it is useful to play it first at 2 players, and so that those players can learn their faction, and then you explain it to 2 other gamers in this combination. So each one can take care of 1 new player. So that might get you at the 4-player count. So fairly quickly. So each one has only to explain, well, 1 other faction, and that might help.
Yeah, snowballing. Yeah, this is correct. And Karthik is saying he's hoping to play Yunnan tomorrow. You have to. You should. And finally, we'll also have a few goodies for you at the counter of the booth. So there may be some nice surprises. Yeah, and we have 2 more. Getting back to the prices for a second. So I will put them on the website most probably tomorrow. Could be Monday, but definitely before Essen, so that you can check them out. But we would like to mention 2 other topics, Phil. One is localizations, right? So what are we planning in the future for localizations?
So at first we would like to stay focused on the games of Whirligig and Leader games.
Yeah.
We won't engrandise or enlarge our portfolio. So we will stick with Whirligig and Leader games for the moment. And yes, I think we are in the process of re-evaluating our policy on localization. So
that is what it is. You see, Spielworxx is a very small company, and we have to see what is best for us. And at the moment, I think Whirligig and Leader games are perfect fits because they are doing very interesting and very nice gamers games. But we cannot just do with a very small team localizations. We have games where we have the IP worldwide, and that should be our main focus.
Yes. So that is what Uli has been doing since the beginning of Spielworxx, and now, so we always had a limited edition of the games. So what have we planned there, Uli? Perhaps.
Yeah, that is an interesting change for Spielworxx, and you hear it here first. So since 2010, when Spielworxx released its first game, we only did a single edition once, and then we licensed games to interested parties. And this will change. So we will, in the future, we will do 2nd, maybe 3rd or 4th editions of our games ourselves. And Yeah, there are several factors for this. Phil, do you want to mention them? What influenced us in this decision?
So yeah, so one main point is that the market changed and that there are a lots more customers or new gamers. Let's call them new gamers that perhaps didn't have a chance to get our games at a reasonable price. And we would like to give them the opportunity to join in again on some of our more precious games.
Yeah. That is completely right. You have to see the market since Spielworxx started in 2010 has changed in a vast way, really. And it is many more gamers are now there, and they never had a chance to purchase certain Spielworxx titles. And licensing is very much cherry picking these days. This game, yes, this game, not. And it's very much based on BGG ratings. But we want to look at the game not only from the point of view of a BGG rating, but how good is the game in our opinion? Does it have another chance today? And it will be interesting to see this. And last but not least, it's some of the Spielworxx games, they have very high prices on the second-hand market. So because some people are just purchasing them to immediately sell them for a profit, and some people simply never had a chance to get this game, and we will change this. But how we do this,
the details,
we still have to think about this, right? Yeah. So, but we will definitely, this should happen this year. So, and of course, we'll announce it via the website, via some other channels. And let's hope that some people are really happy to get, for example, a Diluvia project, or maybe another, again, Die Macher in German or English, because I'm getting some mails and I always have to say, no, don't have it, it's out of stock, no license partner, and we'll see how this works out. Yeah, and thank you for your support in the chat here, Chris, Claudias, and Hans. And Hans has a question. How is it going with 12 Monks, Dolcissima Vita, and 1837 Saxonia? Yeah, very well in general, but we'll see that all of them are out next year. Dolcissima Vita may be very early next year, The others will wait, but 1837 Saxonia, the work has restarted on that games. 12 Monks is a little bit further behind, but it's also in initial development. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Yeah. Do we have anything else, Phil? Or
well, perhaps again to the topic of second editions, perhaps you could elaborate again a bit about our licensing policy.
Yes.
Or you think how we might go about that.
Yeah, and before I do this, hello Matze of Spieletreffen Verteiler. Yeah, licensing. It does not mean that we will from now on stop license games. So if there is an interesting offer, of course we will consider it. And also some of our non-core markets, we will surely license games into these markets. I doubt that we will do a Chinese edition of some of our games or an Ukrainian edition of some of our games. Here we need a license partners, but for the core markets, and with core markets, Phil and I, we mean European languages, major European languages, and of course English language for Europe and especially overseas. These, if there is an interesting offer, the game will be licensed, but it could be that in the future Spielworxx is doing this second or third or fourth edition itself. Yeah. Karthik has a question. What is next project for crowdfunding? The next project for crowdfunding is Gentes Epos, or it's now, the main title is now Epos, a Gentes game by the wonderful Stefan Risthaus. And this is a great game. If you like Gentes, you'll love Epos, because it has a base game, a little bit more than the base game of Gentes, but it also has 8 scenarios, and you can play the scenarios in order, or just play scenario 3 or 5 or 7, or you could play scenario 5 10 times. It's not a legacy game, you're not destroying anything. And of course there are 2 campaign options. There's a shorter campaign and a campaign option where you play through all 8 chapter scenarios, and you will take some stuff into the next scenario. So this will be a very nice crowdfunded game, probably going to GameFound and Spieleschmiede in April of next year. Yeah. And we are all looking forward to this one. And I have to tell you, Stefan is doing magnificent work on this game. So really lots of testing. Yeah. Yeah. So, and having said that, I hope we'll meet at Essen next week at the booth 3H115. We are there from Thursday till Sunday. Can't run away, and we would love to meet you there. Please play a game. Maybe you are interested in purchasing some titles, and it would be wonderful if we could, if we have a chance to talk to you. Yeah, and for all the viewers, all listeners here, thanks a lot. I will continue with the wonderful Ella in 7 minutes. And again, because technology-wise, I'm still in the 20th century, I have to close the stream and please reconnect again. Thanks a lot and see you soon. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.